Flight Sports TV, man. That's my dude. I rolls with him.
You heard what the man said. It's Flight Sports TV.
Flight Sports TV, that's where it's at.
Flight Sports TV.
What's going on? What's going on, people? It's Flight Sports TV. I appreciate y'all for checking with me. You already know what it is. We back on another one of them things. There's a lot to discuss tonight. Basketball is fastly approaching. We are on the cusp of a big-time basketball game involving some big-time superstars in the NBA. This is truly spectacular, to say the least. When you're discussing all of the things that's going on with all of these various teams, we got to get into the Chicago Bulls. Zach LaVine, we all know what's going on with him. DeMar DeRozan, all of these guys, talented in their own right. Let's see how they fare this upcoming season. It seems like every year is a new ordeal, but we'll break it down. I'm very excited to see what's going on with Kyrie, Irving, and Dallas Mavericks. This is a team that I'm very high on. I believe that there's a lot of things going on in the league because everybody is clicking up. I think that you're going to have to deal with the Dallas Mavericks no matter what. A lot of people might feel like this or feel like that, but I do feel like they could possibly be the best backcourt in the NBA if they really put everything together. And that's not hard-pressed to say that. People are already crowning other backcourts who have never played together. I'm hearing things out there in Boston. Boston got the best backcourt, this one and that one. We're going to have to find out, but it's going to be hard-pressed, pound for pound, to say that a backcourt is better than Kyrie, Irving, and Luka Doncic. I think that's just a little too much firepower out there, completely too much firepower. You got Kyrie Irving who could break you down from just about everything. You know, this guy got handles, left hand, right hand. It's just very unorthodox. Luka Doncic, I think this time around, with them being in a full training camp, I think that he's going to be more willing to let Kyrie be Kyrie. You know, I think that last year when Kyrie got there, obviously he came late in the middle of the season. I think they got involved in a your turn, my turn situation due to the fact that these guys wasn't really figuring each other out, you know, so well. It took a while, you know. So we got to give credit where credit is due. Now you got Jason Kidd got him locked down. Jay Kidd should be able to put his imprint on this team. You got two electrifying point guards. We all know that Jason Kidd, what he was in the NBA. Jason Kidd is a Hall of Famer, you know, one of the greats. And he revolutionized the point guard position in his own right when he was playing. You can't forget about his impact to the game of basketball. I know that there's so many point guards that people put ahead of him or people just always use the highlight, but Jason Kidd had himself a hell of a run, you know, when he was out there. And now I think he's got the horses to truly compete, but they out west, and the Western Conference is an animal. And let's see if he could put it together. You know, they've added some key additions now that I think is going to be able to fit both parties. I think now you're going to see Kyrie be a lot more in the flow of the offense. Not so much. Obviously, they all going to isolate. I think Luka's always going to have the ultimate green light. But when you add the pieces that they've added, I think it's definitely something that, you got to really keep an eye on. I think that these pieces are going to be able to propel them to the next level. Let me know how high you are on some of these guys. They even got returning guys coming back, and that's always good. I think it's some continuity here, when you're thinking of Tim Hardaway and things of that nature. These guys are all coming back. You got Seth. He's returned. And I think he's going to fit well with Kyrie. We've seen it. It's gonna be a good little situation for them. And I love the Grant Williams signing. I think that he's going to be the ultimate X factor for them. And I still think they can make a move here or there if they decide to, because they do have some pieces here. I think they even signed Rashawn Holmes. So they picked up some pieces that's going to be able to do what they need to do. Kyrie and Luka is going to do most of the heavy lifting. I think that's obvious. You could already see how it's all going to play out. But now you just got to see how they're going to fit out there out west against these juggernauts they have. They lost to Phoenix in the postseason. Phoenix is even more dangerous now. I don't see how they could compete. Just like they're coming in with continuity, same thing for Phoenix. These guys are getting a full training camp together. That's scary. It's like everybody that pretty much got traded is able to get a full start with their new team, and that's really rare. When the last time we seen something like this? Look at Drew. These guys all got traded so they could have day one training camp with their new teams. Same for Dame. And I think all of this is very important to happen. And I think it's going to propel each team and each player individually. Because if imagine for a situation like I just said, Kyrie came in the middle of the season. What if Dame wasn't able to get a training camp? I think that they're going to really take off. I understand this 1 year, that it's their first year together, but they get this full training camp is big, because they really going to be able to bond, really going to be able to really accelerate this process faster than normal. And they're going to really propel themselves. So I'm be on the lookout for Dallas. Let's see what they could do. Kristaps Porzingis is gone. They don't have that punching bag anymore. He done moved on to greener pastures, and literally, out there in Dallas. Out there in Boston. Departing Dallas. He took a pit stop out in Washington. But let's see if because that was the last start that Luka Doncic was playing alongside of, and you see what's going on with him. He's out there in Boston. They talking championships. Obviously, he won't be the number 2 option. In Dallas, he was the number 2. He couldn't hold up. He had a lot of injury issues, man, and I think they was putting a lot on him. And Luka, he got comfortable running a one-man show, and I think he never let it go. And they lived and they died with Luka Doncic, and clearly they wasn't going to take Chris Snack's, position, in this whole situation. But he should have stayed in New York, But I think now that he has landed in Boston and Mean Green, I think that he's going to figure it out, because they're going to make him figure it out. He's coming into a system, where they play a little higher level than most people would, be accustomed to. So it's going to be interesting. The NBA season is, like I said, is coming very fast. What do you guys think about the Chicago Bulls moving their training camp to Nashville, Tennessee? Obviously for more increased focus, bonding, things of that nature. I think when you're in these cities, you got to understand Chicago, that's a major city. These guys ain't able to focus They don't got their mentals correct. You got to remove them out of these big cities to a place where they could just focus. Like I said, we're better placed than Nashville. So shout out to Nashville, but it's not as high, it's not as crazy and fast paced as Chicago. So I like the fact that they took them out of there because you don't know what these guys will do. You want to be locked in and focus, on the task in hand, so everybody can come in to the season firing on all cylinders. You don't want a couple of guys focused and this, that, and the third. They're going to be able to have official team dinners, things of that nature. Same thing we'll be seeing with Philadelphia. If you've seen Philadelphia, they shut their situation down in Philly. They took it out all the way to Colorado. So they going places to get focused. And we watching it firsthand. And like I said, we're going to see these teams really show us why, they made these decisions. I want to see how all of these additions, some, like I said, these ones that happened at the end of last year towards the trade deadline, and then the moves that has just happened now. I want to see how it all looks on the floor because everything looks good on paper, but we don't know how it's really going to look when these guys get out there. And that's going to be the most interesting situation of the whole thing. But until then, there's nothing else really that we could truly discuss. There's a lot of news being broken out here between Luka Doncic, Kyrie. It seemed like Kyrie Irving was on his way out the door. Everybody was trying to allude to that. He didn't even give him much of a chance. The man just got there and they was already talking about he was going to go. They paid him top dollar. They paid him the way a superstar is supposed to get paid, but they just didn't stretch the years out. But I mean, it is what it is. They could always work that out later. Kyrie Irving is the kind of player, he's going to warrant you to pay him top dollar. You're not going to shortchange Kyrie Irving. I'm just saying, it's not going to happen. There's teams that will pay him. Now, I do think he's going to switch his image, and you don't see much noise coming out of Dallas, no issues. It's just all basketball. I like the vibes that I'm seeing. And until then, we're gonna like I said, we're gonna keep you posted. For whatever reason, you got Dallas. They got an opening preseason game tomorrow in the wee hours. In the morning. They got a game. What is it? I think 12 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken. That's pretty crazy. But nonetheless, it's wild. Y'all gotta let me know who y'all got in that game. My notion with preseason basketball is I don't get too high about it. I don't get too low because it's preseason. We see teams take off in the preseason and, like I said, look horrible, and vice versa. But a team like Dallas, I want to see Kyrie Irving, just like I said, these dudes are just electrifying. I want to see how they play off each other this time around. I want to see some plays, with both of them involved in. It's going to be interesting because this is a two-guard lineup, but these two guards are serious ball players. Serious. So they're going to be putting major, major pressure on defenses all around the league. There's going to be really nothing that these teams are going to be able to do about the situation. But I mean, it is what it is at the end of the day. Shout out to Lonzo Ball, because he's traveling with the team despite all of this going on. He said 2 days ago that he's still a part of the Chicago Bulls. So I love the fact that he's involved. So it eliminates any trepidation or speculation that Lonzo could be working on his way out the door. Because, people like to throw that out there. Lonzo just got to Chicago, didn't really get a chance to really see it through. And his career was really taking off. Let's hope that he could get the wheels back on track in Chicago, and put all this other stuff to bed. But he did tell the reporters that when he does come back, he's looking to be back for the Chicago Bulls. And give credit to AK and these guys. They fully embraced him. They haven't shunned him away or sent him off, or they got him involved, and they're featuring him online on their social medias and things of that nature. So they basically are making him feel like he's a part of the team. They didn't have to do this. They could have just focused on the guys that's going to be on the floor. And I know it's got to be frustrating. I know Bulls fans are frustrated. That's your starting point guard. Who wouldn't be? He's out. Everything, the wheels looking like it's just falling off the goddamn tracks. And there's no word on nothing. You trying to figure out what the hell is going on. And hopefully he gets back. But I love the fact that they coming out and saying he won't be back this season, even though there's speculation that he could return. But I think that'll be up to him. But they just need to stick to the plan. Don't deviate. Don't come through sometime around Christmas talking about Lonzo's moving ahead of schedule. He could see a return. Especially though, I think it all depends on what the Bulls doing. If the Bulls is a top seed, I think so, but if the Bulls continue to fall apart and they plummeting and they all the way at the bottom of the standings, it don't make no sense. But if the Bulls is looking scary, like they could do something, they could be a threat in the playoffs, you got to definitely, bring Lonzo Ball back if he's healthy, because that could be the difference of, doing something truly special. This team is definitely, there. But now the East got these juggernauts now. It wasn't like this before, where they had it was just more, the playing field was a lot more level. The playing field now was imbalanced. It's too much star power. And we got to figure out how everybody's going to be able to navigate through the situation. Shout out Chi Latna. He said, "What up, my brothers? Good job. Keep up the good work. God bless." Shout out to everybody in the chat. Appreciate you. Like I said, man, it's just crazy, with the whole Lonzo situation. I want to see how the situation is with Zach and DeMar DeRozan and how they're going to play off of each other. Lonzo gave some good game, on everybody, and I think it would behoove them to listen to this stuff, and really take it to heart and apply it. They have to. It's a must. The Bulls, they got to do something. They brought everybody back for what? You don't bring everybody back, to continue to plummet. I think they're bringing everybody back with the hopes that Lonzo could come back at some point and get this team back to the promised land of where it once was. They're finished right now. But I hope that they could get it right. They could get all of the wheels turning up there in Chi-Town. Hopefully this training camp outside of Chicago benefits them, and they can iron out any little things that they need to iron out. I definitely think that DeMar and Zach need to get a lot more in sync. And I'm not talking so much about they having problems off the floor or anything like that. Just they need to be in sync on the floor. I think that they need to play off each other a little bit more. I think it's too much passing the ball, getting in the corner, isolating. They need to get out of all of that offense. And like I said, if Billy Donovan is pushing this, we need to have another conversation. But they have to do something to get this team moving like a well-oiled machine. Otherwise, like I said, it's just going to continue to plummet, and they're going to continue to fall down the cellars. Nobody wants to see that. I know I don't. That's hurtful for Chicago. I remember those games when Lonzo was there. They was by far the most exciting team in basketball, and now it's just not the same. Right now, they're gonna have a point guard competition. If you haven't heard about that, the Chicago Bulls don't know what they're gonna do at the point guard position right now. Their whole situation has been left in shambles. And they wasn't able to find any quality backups. They wasn't able to get Cameron Payne. Nobody, no decent quality backups who could hold it down possibly. I'm trying to think. Could they have got Dennis Smith Jr.? Somebody who could have fill that role? I don't know. But the Terrys of the world, I'm not sold. I'm not sold on these guys. Kobe White, and you don't know what they're gonna do, but they gonna have to do it by committee and patiently await the return of Lonzo Ball. His return is a must. Lonzo has an opportunity to do something special, in his career, man, because could you imagine a situation if Lonzo get back and the Bulls get back to what they were supposed to be doing and they get back to how it was? I mean, Lonzo, his value already, people already know his value, but this is going to further validate it, as a lot. There's too much of this going on, A lot of people got Lonzo all mixed and screwed. Shout out Thunder. He said DeMar said in an interview he wants to be PG. I'm telling you, everybody's a point guard competition, so he probably want to join the competition. I don't know what the hell they have a competition for, because they are going to snatch the ball and do it, to take it whenever the hell they want to. That's something that DeMar DeRozan and Zach and them do. They break the offense. They basically, they kind of disrupt flow. And DeMar DeRozan, that MVP, it wrecked everything. Because it got DeMar DeRozan like he Michael Jordan, and he's not. And that's a very troubling situation to be in, to where you feel like you can just shoot anything you feel like, just completely disrupt the flow, ask for the ball, demand the ball, basically become a ball stopper, and like just take a stupid mid-range jump shot where it's frowned upon in today's league. A couple years ago, that mid-range jumper was, gold. But he's so elite at that. I think the coach got to let him have it. Similar to what they did with Carmelo Anthony. Some coaches were upset, and you see DeMar trying to stretch his shooting out to the 3-point lane. We'll see. Thunder says y'all would let Ingram run it before McCollum. Shout out Armis Jones. Thunder might as well shoot. My pals are going to have Brandon Ingram play the PG role. DeMar got talented for, I mean, a lot of teams is coming with different mindsets. A lot of these teams are bringing back the same team. So you got to mix and match the pieces, because the way you had the pieces put in place last year just didn't work out. So I like the fact of when you hear these things like they moving Zion to the center, you hearing other things that around the league. This is what you have to do. You got to take the necessary steps for change and win. That's what it's all about at the end of the day, winning. Don't nobody want to lose. And a lot of teams just not ready for whatever reason. But the Bulls, I don't know where they're going to fare. The Bulls could finish either out the playoffs, the bottom. I think the days of the Bulls being at the top of the Eastern Conference are over, or they on pause or something. They need Lonzo to be discussing stuff like that. And they should consider making a move if they could, especially if certain guys don't maneuver the way they're supposed to. I like to move Vooch if he doesn't turn it up. I know Bulls fans don't like to hear that because they're very high on Vooch, which they should be. I'm high on Vooch too, but I just think that he would fit a lot better on another basketball team. And I think it's crazy. There's a lot going on. I actually think Zach play a fast-paced offense is DeMar. Well, I think all of them do. Listen, all of them to me personally, DeMar, Zach, they disrupt the flow in my opinion. Just due to their isolation-heavy styles. That's just me. And you got two of them doing it. And it get crazy. Even when Lonzo get back, they're going to have to control themselves. Because even when Lonzo was there, I mean, this notion that everything was just smooth sailing. I mean, they was disrupting the flow of offense when Lonzo was there. They wouldn't let Lonzo just completely run the point guard position and feed them. They want to get the ball too. They get it off rebound. You think DeMar DeRozan is looking to pass it? He getting the ball off a rebound. He bring the ball up the floor like he the point guard. Same thing for Zach LaVine. It is what it is. Zach was doing it, prior to all of these people coming there. The Bulls was in shambles even more. And then they messed around and struck a deal and got some pieces, and the rest was history. So they definitely brought their guys intact. Let's just see how this story ends for the Bulls. I hope it ends with, a deep run, maybe either going to the conference finals and when Lonzo get back, or scaring the team. I mean, I don't know, unless they make a massive move and add a star or do something, because the East just got crazy. Everybody gonna have to figure out where they fare in this whole equation. It don't make no sense. So I really like Patrick Williams. I think he's got a lot of potential, especially from what he's learned from Debo. Yeah, Patrick Williams is the truth, and when he wants to, he had some injury issues, and a lot of people, try to throw him under, but he's getting back fully intact now. You gotta give these young guys some time. Everybody's rushing these young players to be this and to be that. Let them develop on their own time. That's key. If you can't let them develop on their own time, it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But it's crazy. But nonetheless, y'all, we're going to be back up tomorrow. We got a lot of things to discuss. We're going to be breaking down some basketball games. We got preseason basketball coming up. It's Flight Sports TV.